Do you ever have one of those days where you're like, okay, there's so much that I want to get done, and then there's also so much that I need to get done today? That's the kind of day that I'm having today, and I wanted to vlog and take you guys along in a very busy and realistic day in my life. I think days like this are an amazing reminder that not every single day is going to go perfect or going to go according to plan, but you can still show up for the best version of yourself and show up for your goals, even when your life gets busy or you have a day where you feel like your to-do list is 6 miles long. It's all about you just showing up for yourself in whatever capacity you can that day. And maybe there's weeks like this where you're feeling sluggish or you just have busy weeks. All you have to do is to continue to show up in whatever capacity you can. And this is relatable to so many different things. It's relatable to health. It's relatable to building a business. It's relatable to getting a hard college degree. Like, you just have to keep showing up no matter how busy life gets. And in my own experience, the more you show up, the better you get, and the more things start to just compound on itself. Sometimes the hardest or scariest part is literally just starting. And then once we start, we realize, why were we even scared? This is easy. This weekend, I went to the farmer's market and they had bone broth there, and I was so excited, but I only bought like one little pint of it because I wasn't sure how it was gonna taste. And I drank a cup of it this morning, and it was the best bone broth that I've ever had. And I'm a little sad that I didn't get more, but I'm just happy that I at least tried it. In the mornings, I've been loving to go outside, to turn on some meditation music, and to do a little morning stretch. I find that it puts me in such a good headspace for the day, and it feels so good to stretch after a long night of sleep. I have also been really liking to meditate in the morning before my brain goes on my phone and is bombarded with emails and messages and all the other things that come on the phone. I think it's really important to find slowness and to find stillness at least a few small times throughout your day. And in my experience, it's helped me to feel way more grounded. I definitely think it is a learned skill now to learn how to slow down and to be present with a world with so many distractions that we have constantly at our fingertips. It's so important to learn how to slow down and how to take a moment of stillness and quiet. And not every day it's easy. I'm trying this new thing where I'm not going on my phone for the first 60 minutes that I'm awake, and it just makes you have a better day. You feel more productive, you feel in a different headspace. I also feel like less inclined to just like randomly pick up my phone throughout the day when I don't go on it for the first 60 minutes. So it's definitely a challenge sometimes, but has been worth it for the days that I have been doing it. And I've just been filling my mornings with healthy things. So like a 30-minute walk and like 10-minute meditation and like making my bone broth. And then all of a sudden an hour has gone by so fast. I walked about 1.2 miles this morning, and then I was running late for Pilates. I was so excited for this Pilates class. The studio is just adorable. Reformer Pilates is an amazing way to get stronger, and you really focus on muscles that you don't target when you do other kinds of workouts. So it's amazing for strengthening and creating long, lean, toned muscles. I've gotten so much stronger from doing Pilates. And when I'm weightlifting, I can really feel how much stronger I am from doing Pilates. Pilates is also such a great workout because you're also focusing on your balance at the same exact time that you're focusing on your strength. I personally really like workouts like this because they're so challenging and hard that it's the only thing that I can think about during my workout is just being in that moment and getting through the current move. After Pilates, I hit the grocery store. I really needed to meal prep today, but I just ran out of time. But I grabbed all the things that I needed to meal prep for the week. I love a good yogurt bowl. This is Greek yogurt. It's honey, it's berries, it's goji berries, and cinnamon on top. I just love making a cinnamon yogurt like this. It's my favorite sweet breakfast. I feel like my relationship with coffee recently has changed. I used to be the type of person that like woke up and immediately had a cup of coffee before doing anything, and I always thought that I needed coffee to operate. And then I wanted to do a little caffeine break. I wanted to see if I was like addicted to caffeine or see if I actually needed caffeine to function. And so I did like 4 days off of caffeine, and I had the worst headache of my life. I literally felt like I was hungover for 4 days straight. And I kind of thought I was sick during those 4 days. I was like, what's wrong with me? And then I realized that that was like me coming off of caffeine, because caffeine is a drug, and then you have these withdrawal feelings. One of the biggest symptoms is getting a massive headache. It's been interesting because coffee used to be such a big part of my morning routine, and now coffee isn't even a part of my morning routine. I'll have a cup of coffee in the afternoon, but it's not something that I reach for in the morning, and I've realized that I don't need coffee to have energy throughout the day. I just need to make sure that I'm fueling my body properly. But I think I might just switch to drinking only decaf coffee, because I don't think that I even am drinking coffee for the caffeine. I think I'm drinking coffee for the taste, and I don't want to have this reliance to this beverage that makes me feel like I need it to be productive. I feel like it's so easy to look at your biohacking data and be like, okay, cool, I got a 91 sleep score, next. And I think it's helpful to see the data and see what your sleep score is, or see what your activity score is, or see what your readiness score is. But I also think there's a component of that that goes along with it that also should be tracked, which is tracking a little bit of the emotional side of things or the routine side of things, so that you can get a more full picture than just the data is showing you, which is why I want to start doing a weekly biohacking journal prompt. The way I envision this looking is just a note on my phone where I answer the same questions every single week. Really simple questions like, what routines did I do this week? How many workouts did I do? Did I feel anxiety this week? Did I wake up feeling rested in the morning? Did I travel this week? And then even a little section that's like, explain my week in 2 sentences. I will pop up some questions here if you guys want to also do this or recreate it in your own way. But my hope with this is to kind of gather data over time on a little bit more of the emotional side of things, slash what routines and rituals I'm actually doing this week. And then eventually feeding this data, as well as like my Oura ring data, to ChatGPT. And I think maybe it could recognize patterns, or it might just be able to help create like a wellness protocol or a schedule, or like a top priority of things to do. At least in my experience, it's so easy to accidentally forget about little healthy things that you were doing, and then a few months later you remember that you did that, and then you start doing it again. This always happens to me with like hair or skin rituals. I'll like start doing something and then I'll forget about it, and then like a few months later I'll remember it. But I feel like if I just like journal out what I'm actually doing every single week, it's gonna be easier to not forget about the things that I actually want to do, and then understand which things actually have results to them. So I'm going to be adding this into my calendar to do every single Monday about the previous week, and basically just keep one long running note of this. I have been doing Duolingo for 463 days. For about 380 of those days, I was learning Spanish. And then I decided to switch and start learning Swedish. My fiance is from Sweden, and I just want to learn to speak his native language. But it's so interesting because I practiced Spanish for, about a year, and I can definitely speak in Spanish. I'm not fluent in Spanish, but I can say phrases, I can read things, I can kind of communicate the basics that you would need to like navigate in a Spanish speaking area. And it's so interesting, even though I've only been doing Swedish for a really short amount of time, I'm already remembering so many phrases and words, and I think Duolingo is such an amazing tool because it's so repetitive and it's also really fun that it makes it very easy to learn new things. I think it's so important to learn new things as an adult, whether that's like learning to play an instrument or like learning a new language or like learning different new hobbies. I think of my brain and my body's flexibility the same way. If you don't use it, you lose it. And so that's the way I feel about my critical thinking and problem solving brain and just like learning brain is if I'm not learning or problem solving or forcing myself to kind of get out of my comfort zone in my own brain, then I could lose that critical thinking part of myself. And I think that it's so easy with AI now to not use your critical thinking brain and just to ask AI. But I do think that it's so important to use that side of your brain. And so with the way that AI is going and just developing, I think it's so important to spend time and brain power to learn new things that are challenging. And so I highly recommend using Duolingo or just like diving into learning a new language because it's so fun and it's also so good for you to just learn new things. I've been noticing a big difference in my skin since I've been a little bit more consistent with my red light therapy. I have been noticing that I don't have as much discoloration or like redness on my face when I'm being consistent with this. So I do think that it's working and it makes me really happy. I also feel like it has been helping with the bags under my eyes. Like I'm not wearing concealer as much as I used to. So I do think that the red light is healing my skin, and it's also just such a relaxing and fun ritual to do at the end of the day after I like take off my makeup and I'm all clean and ready for bed. I totally forgot to film cooking dinner, but we bought some steaks at the farmer's market this weekend, and so we made steaks and we also made potatoes and just like a huge veggie tray. So it was such a good, nutritious, healthy dinner. I'm going to end my vlog here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.